Michael's in Hampstead. Michael, how do you make sense of this?
Hi. I think it's perfectly clear. We are not paying anything that we weren't already committed to paying.
But she said we wouldn't have to pay that.
No, she said we wouldn't have to pay to leave, and we're not paying to leave. These are sums which, or in fact, much greater sums than we would have been paying had we remained members.
No, let's listen again. Let's just listen again.
Hold on a second.
No, let's be clear that we're both talking about the same thing, Michael.
No, let's.
All right, let's not listen to what she said. Let's listen to what you want us to think she said, then.
No.
Well, let's listen to what she said, then.
You've played it 3 times already, so I don't need to.
Well, she said scaremongering about having to pay to leave is just not true. Don't believe it. She said we won't have to pay.
It is not paying to leave.
So the bill that we're paying isn't the bill she was talking about?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Because we're not paying anything we weren't already obliged to pay. If we remained members of the EU, we would have had to pay these sums plus vastly greater sums. And the fact is that Remainers like yourself just want us to believe that these are sums which would somehow or other have gone away if we'd stayed members of the EU.
I'm not making any position myself. Let's listen again to what she said. No, we're just going to. And then we'll have a look at it through the lens of you suggesting that when she talked about the bill that we are paying, she wasn't, when she talked about the bill that we wouldn't pay, talking about the bill that we've now agreed we will pay. We'll just check together. OK? Let's go.
You're absolutely right. And this figure of 50 billion doesn't have any legal basis whatsoever. It's been manufactured. And it doesn't seem likely that there will be such a bill for £50 billion. It's part of Project Fear. Health warning, don't believe it. You know, we pay into the European Investment Bank, and so actually we're going to get a windfall from leaving. So I think that the scaremongering about having to pay to leave is just not true. We have a lot to gain. Our best days lie ahead.
So it doesn't seem likely that there will be such a bill, and scaremongering about having to pay to leave is just not true. And I promise I'm trying to understand you properly, Michael. You're suggesting that she's not talking about the bill that we are paying. She was talking about another bill that we might have had to pay but now won't and never would.
Indeed.
OK, no, that's definitely a view. It's 11:39. Hayden is in Catford. If you agree with Michael, I'd love to hear from you. She wasn't talking about the... Well, hang on, Michael, come back a minute. What was she talking about?
No, hold on a second. You're claiming to be impartial.
Well, you just called me a Remainer. You can't call me impartial and a Remainer in the course of the same phone call, unless we've left logic at the door.
I didn't call you impartial. I said you're claiming to try to be impartial.
No, I'm not.
Indeed, earlier on in the day...
No, I'm not.
She said, I'm doing my very best to be impartial.
Yes, we were talking about homosexuality and religion.
No, we were talking about...
Oh, mate, look, let's talk about you, OK? And your belief that Suella Fernandez was not talking about the EU departure bill when she appeared on Question Time and answered a question about the EU departure bill. Just talk me through your logic.
You are claiming to be impartial.
Oh, mate.
But in fact...
Here we go.
You continuously play things which are prejudicial on one side. You're not playing anything on the other side.
What would you like me to play? Misty?
No, I'd like you to be sensible.
What would you like me to play? I'll play it now. And then you can answer my question.
Okay. Michael Gove talking about Brexit.
Okay, Michael Gove talking about the Brexit bill.
Hold on a second.
Which clip? Which bit?
How about Jeremy Corbyn expressing an opinion as to whether he wants to stay in the European Union or whether he wants to leave the European Union?
Okay, I'll dig that out and then I'll play it later, and then you tell me what it is, what bill she was talking about when she said scaremongering about having to pay to leave is just not true, and she also said it doesn't seem likely that there will be such a bill. So what is the bill that she was talking about?
You were claiming...
Oh, Michael.
You were claiming... No, hold on a second. You were claiming that everybody who voted Brexit didn't care about what happens in the future. Now, the basis of that is we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if we had voted... But
we know what happened in the past. We know what happened in the past, and she spoke about a bill. What bill was she talking about, Michael?
No, you're not listening to me. We would not know what would have happened if we had remained in the European Union.
No, that's true. Say more stuff, and then I'll ask you the question again.
We're seeing ever closer union, which is what they want. Yep. We're seeing talk of a European army. We're talking about common defence policy.
Yep.
We're talking about bank harmonisation, tax harmonisation.
Yeah, except we're not.
All these things.
We're talking about Suella Fernandez and your contention that the bill she was talking about 6 months ago is demonstrably and substantively different from the bill the government has agreed to pay. So what bill was she talking about, Michael?
She was talking about a bill to pay to leave the European Union. These are...
Well, hang on, you said a minute ago she wasn't.
No, she talked about a bill to leave the European Union.
It doesn't seem likely that there will be any such bill.
We are not paying anything which the United Kingdom was not already obliged to pay.
It doesn't seem likely that there will be any such bill. She categorically said we weren't obliged to pay anything. You know this is true. This is a stupid argument, Michael. You can disagree about lots of other stuff, but we both know that she was talking about the bill that we're paying.
You agreed with her that there was no legal basis. It's a totally political sanction.
Which is why we're looking at... It doesn't seem likely that there will be such a bill. So what is the bill she was talking about if it's not the one we've agreed to pay?
Well, we're talking about the ones where there is a legal basis. We have entered into commitments with the European Union to pay certain sums over future years, and these are the sums of money which we're now...
So scaremongering about having to pay to leave is just not true. Is that statement true or false?
It's true.
So she was wrong when she said it?
No.
So we're not paying to leave?
We're not paying to leave. We're paying to meet our legal obligations.
As a precursor to what?
As a precursor to nothing.
As a precursor to nothing? So why are we paying to meet our legal obligations?
Well, you're not paying to meet your legal obligations.
These are your words. I can't do this anymore. I literally just repeated your own words to you.
You didn't. You have legal obligations, and when you have legal obligations, you have to meet them.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. We're not paying anything extra to leave the European Union.
Let's listen to it again, just so that everybody else listening to the programme can be clear that you are... No, you don't have to listen. You don't have to listen. Seriously, you can head back off to the unicorn farm. But everybody else likes to know rather than just believe. Right, so, are you still there? Good.
Yes, I am still here.
What is she talking about? Where is this 50 billion figure? Where did it come from?
Oh, because the Cameron government didn't tell us about it.
Oh, Lord.
Did they?
No, on Question Time 6 months ago, when she talked about the £50 billion figure and said we wouldn't have to pay it, what figure was she talking about?
Do you live on a unicorn farm? Because you just told me that I live on a unicorn farm.
Yeah, so where did that £50 billion come from?
Are you a good quality journalist or not? Do you believe in calling your callers in by name?
Well, I respond to evidence and arrive at conclusions. You're more than welcome to disprove Michael. £50 billion, what figure is she talking about?
Do you believe in a unicorn farm?
I do believe in unicorn farms. I believe in unicorn farms. There, it's given. So there we go. We're fine. You can insult me, I'll insult you. Everything's cool. Now we're back to the substantive question in hand.
I'm just repeating what you said. You believe in unicorn farms, and you believe that I live on one.
£50 billion. What figure is she talking about?
I have told you several times. You're not pretending.
No, what is she talking about? When she said the £50 billion figure, what was she talking about?
A bill to leave the European Union.